Michael Biehn lived a double life for years and no one knew. Until now. I always thought Michael Biehn was one of Hollywood's biggest what-ifs. Then I realized I had been asking the wrong question. The real mystery wasn't why he disappeared. It was how he managed to keep fighting while almost no one knew what was happening behind the scenes. When people remember Michael Biehn, they usually picture one face. Kyle Reese sprinting through a nightmare future in The Terminator. Or Corporal Hicks calmly staring down aliens that could wipe out an entire colony. Those characters felt fearless. But the man playing them was living a life that looked completely different once the cameras stopped rolling. And honestly, I don't think many of us ever noticed. That's the strange thing about Hollywood. Sometimes the strongest-looking people are carrying the heaviest burdens. Michael Biehn should have become one of the biggest action stars of the 1980s. On paper, everything lined up. He worked with James Cameron 3 different times. He appeared in The Terminator, Aliens, and The Abyss. 3 films that would become science fiction classics. Most actors would build an entire career around just one movie like that. Michael had 3, yet somehow he never reached the same level of fame as many of his co-stars. I've always found that fascinating. How can someone appear in so many legendary films and still remain almost underrated? The answer isn't simple, and it definitely isn't one single mistake. Long before Hollywood ever knew his name, Michael was just a kid moving from state to state. Born in Alabama, growing up in Nebraska, eventually settling in Arizona, sports filled most of his time. Basketball mattered far more than acting. Then something unexpected happened. He joined his high school's drama club, not because he dreamed of becoming famous, just because it seemed interesting. Funny how life works. One small decision, one classroom, and suddenly everything changes. He earned a drama scholarship to the University of Arizona, but after about 2 years, he made a choice that must have terrified him. He quit, packed his things, moved to Los Angeles with nothing guaranteed. I can't imagine making that decision. Thousands arrived in Hollywood every year believing they were different. Most disappeared. Michael almost did too. His first television jobs were tiny. One early appearance even left him forgetting his lines because he was so nervous. Nobody remembers those auditions now. But I think they mattered more than the famous roles. They taught him persistence. Eventually, James Cameron saw something special. Not perfection, potential. That's how Kyle Reese happened. Ironically, Michael nearly lost the role. During his first audition, he accidentally used a southern accent left over from another acting job. Completely wrong for the character. Most directors would have moved on. James Cameron didn't. He called him back. Asked him to try again. That second chance changed movie history. Watching The Terminator today, what still impresses me isn't the action. It's Michael's eyes. He never played Reese like a superhero. He looked exhausted, haunted, like someone who had survived too much. Even a tiny moment became unforgettable. Michael suggested that Reese glance directly toward the surveillance camera during an interrogation scene. Just a quick look, as if this soldier had spent his entire life expecting someone to be watching him. James Cameron kept it. Little moments like that tell you what kind of actor Michael really was. Then came Aliens. Another role that almost never happened. James Remar originally played Hicks. After production had already started, Remar left. Michael received an emergency phone call. Within days, he was flying to England. No military training, almost no preparation. The rest of the cast already knew each other. He had to catch up immediately. And somehow, Hicks became one of the most beloved characters in science fiction history. Calm, reliable, never loud. I've always admired actors who don't need to shout to own a scene. Michael was one of them. By the end of the 1980s, he looked unstoppable. Then something strange happened. Hollywood kept making successful movies. Michael kept giving strong performances. But the giant breakthrough never arrived. Projects stalled. Some films underperformed. Other opportunities slipped away. He later admitted regretting turning down Near Dark. His name surfaced around films like The Usual Suspects, Speed, Titanic, and Lethal Weapon at different stages before those opportunities vanished. Looking back, it almost feels like watching history take tiny turns that changed everything. Then came one of the biggest disappointments, Alien 3. Fans expected Hicks to return. Instead, the character was killed almost immediately. No real farewell, no proper ending. Even decades later, fans still debate that decision. Michael believed Hicks deserved better. Honestly, so do a lot of people. But while audiences focused on missed movie opportunities, something far more serious was happening away from movie sets. This is the part that surprised me most. Michael wasn't living one life. He was living two. One belonged to movie premieres, film sets, comic conventions, smiling for cameras. The other existed behind closed doors. Alcohol slowly became part of everyday life. Not dramatic headlines, not tabloid scandals, just quiet dependence. That's often how these struggles begin. He later admitted he wasn't drinking because he enjoyed it anymore. He was drinking because he felt he needed it. That